All right, guys, so today having a pool day for you. So I just want to go through a little bit of the thought process of what entails a kind of complete pool day. What's my thought process for putting something together? What should your guys' thought process be for putting something together? And then also kind of walk through it, talk about some of the things with each exercise, what we're trying to train, what we're trying to cover, and then what you guys could potentially do as subs, obviously if you don't have all the exact same stuff that we do. So I will get into all of that right after you hit that like and subscribe button and do all that YouTube stuff for me, and I will help you get some muscles. It is a symbiotic relationship we have. It goes back and together and back and forth and round in a circle in a merry-go-round. It's life, circular, up and down. You pay the quarter, and now we're here. Anyway, so getting into our day today. Mainly a pool day, really with a big focus of back. So again, this has to be within the context of the rest of our entire split, where there's a day that I call my reverse pool day, which again is a pool day, like the name would indicate, in the typical reverse order. So we start with biceps that day. So you'll see we don't have a ton of biceps today, don't have a ton of rear delts, because we realize we have another day where we're kind of starting a little bit more with that stuff. But as far as exercise selection for back goes, starting with a pull down, again, I've spoken about this before. I like single arm because, again, for how different people's structures are, single arm is just going to fit more people. And again, if the focus is lats, why do I prefer this range of motion? I could make an argument for alignment, but even aside from alignment range of motion, if I'm out here, and even if this works well for your lats, just look at the distance traveled of my upper arm. This is going through 45-ish degrees range of motion, or 50 degrees, whatever. If I go this way, I can go through, somewhere upwards of 140, maybe even 150 degrees range of motion. So even if both were hitting lats, if you're going to pick one movement, I always have the notion of do as little as possible for maximal results. So I'd rather pick something that's going to cover more range of motion and get the job done basically in one go, as opposed to having to do multiple exercises. So single arm pull downs really are a good job for alignment and really are a good one for training your lats to their near full contractile range. If you don't have a machine, basically any machine where you can have this arm path is going to be good. The go-to if you don't have that would be a cable. So single arm cable pull down, you can recreate the exact same range of motion. And if maybe you're training in a home gym, go for like a neutral grip pull up. So again, you could have this type of arm path, and again, hopefully you have a little bit of leeway with your grip. From there, going to upper back. So for upper back, I think it's hard to beat some sort of kind of elbows out T-bar type motion. As far as the range of motion the shoulder blades can move through, not having any limiting factors with hip or erector strength with that chest pad, I just think, again, it's a very, very efficient movement to train all the stuff that moves your shoulder blades. So big things I'm focusing on there is traps, rhomboids, and your upper arm is obviously moving a lot as well too. So some rotator cuff stuff, some rear delts. The sub for that one is, if you don't have that, I always say is a chest supported incline dumbbell row is probably the best bet. And just have the same arm path. So people say, well, what about the arm path? It's dumbbells. You can make the arm path whatever you want it to be, so you can have the exact same arm path we do. It doesn't have to be quite as teed out as where we're at. So obviously if this is 90, we're somewhere right down here. Basically anywhere in here, you're going to find that's the position where you can basically extend the arm the furthest behind you, which I think is important because that allows you to retract those shoulder blades the furthest. So really between those two is a fairly complete workout. I like the next row we go to because it's kind of somewhere in between, I would consider. So again, if the first one pull down is pretty much purely lats, this one's purely upper back. This one I'm going with kind of that neutral grip arm path. The load is kind of going at this angle to your body. So again, it's going to involve some more traps, maybe even a little bit more upper traps than the T-bar. But because of this arm path, I pick up some lats as well too. So with the first two exercises, I'm really trying to think more so isolate lat, the T-bar row, isolate upper back. This one I really try and kind of visualize and feel my entire back working. So a lot of retraction, protraction, which is a lot of trap stuff, but also focusing on that upper arm, pulling in and around the side. So getting some lat stuff as well too. The closest sub for that one is like the hammer strength low row is very, very similar. Ours is the prime extreme row. And again, if you didn't have that, doing something almost like a cable row where you have the cable a little bit lower could be pretty similar on there as well too. You just kind of want that neutral-ish grip. From there, we go to bent over T-bar rows. So right now in our split, we don't have any deadlifts. Main reason is Terrence's like hips and back occasion are a little bit off. We're in prep right now. So if something doesn't feel perfect, we take it out. So I'd like to put a T-bar row in there without a chest support. Basically just because that's going to train your hips, train your erectors, performing an isometric. So we're still getting stimulation there like you would with a deadlift variation. But then we're also training upper back stuff as well too. So I like that to kind of get whatever's left. So it does train your hip extensors, trains your erectors and trains your entire upper back musculature as well too. So towards the end of the workout, I think it makes a lot of sense to put in there to kind of basically finish off everything. And again, people always ask, what really is a finisher? What's pump work, metabolic work, all those terms out there. The reality is it's nothing remotely new. Every single person since the beginning of bodybuilding time knows you're stronger towards the beginning of your workout. So you have a lot of your load-based stuff, the things you logbook, the things to really focus on progressive overload. And as you get fatigued through your workout, people still know that stuff is effective. It's just different. And now we actually have research showing that yes, it's actually through that fatigue, as long as you're training to failure points or close to failure, there's still what would be considered effective stimulus or effective reps. So as we get towards the end, that's why I kind of like, again, that T-bar row for a little bit of everything. And then even on those last 2 sets of T-bar rows, you'll see we superset basically to a pull down, which again is a little bit more of a lat focused thing. As we get to a little bit further into the prep where I'm at with Terrence right now, where food is still really good, recovery is really good, we start to add in more kind of supersets and things like that. And I just like to tail them right into our working stuff because I think it's an efficient, quick way to do it. And again, if you think about it, going from the T-bar, for those last 5 reps of that set are the effective ones, going right into a superset. In theory, the last 5 reps of that pull down are also effective. So it's a very quick way to actually get some more stuff in there, get some more effective stimulus in a short period of time. Everything today was done. All those movements I just mentioned were in 2 working sets. So a top set, so first set is the heaviest set, generally in 5 to 8 rep range, and then a back off set, typically anywhere from 8 to 15 reps. And both of them are trained for us pretty much to failure or slightly past failure. And again, past failure for us is really just fixing the profiles of the exercises. From there, superset of a rear delt and a bicep exercise. So doing reverse pec deck, one of my favorites for rear delts, train the rear delt through their near full contractile range. And then from there, doing a standing cable curl. We've rotated bicep exercises a ton. The only difference for a standing cable curl as opposed to a standing barbell or standing dumbbell is it's going to tend to line up better for more people. So that's why we picked that one. Both of those, again, we just superset kind of for time, still take rests between and need sets, and 3 working sets on those. So top set, back off set, back off set. And so again, it's a little bit more volume in there as we kind of progress through. And I like to add it kind of in the smaller stuff first so it's not taxing on our total recovery too much. And then from there, just for a little bit of extra bicep stimulus, did a little superset, a high curl variation to an incline curl, incline dumbbell curl. And I like that when I'm doing supersets or pairings, again, for more pump work, metabolic work, finishers, whatever the hell you want to call it, we're fatigued. Sometimes I like to train some stuff we didn't with our big movements. So standing bicep curl is great for training the biceps through probably 90% of the range of motion, loads them where they're heaviest. So for a superset, I like to load that bicep fully shortened, so having a degree of shoulder flexion, getting to full elbow flexion, and getting a fully supinated hand there. That will fully shorten and fully contract the bicep. So doing a lot of reps there, 25, 30 reps there. Again, that's arguably good for metabolic output. Superset right to an incline curl. So by extending the arm behind you, fully extending the elbow, sometimes even having a little bit of a degree of pronation, that'll fully lengthen the bicep. So really, really good pairing, in my opinion, for training something that wasn't already trained, so not being redundant, but also accumulating a lot of metabolic output in a very short period of time. Anecdotally, you will get a nasty, nasty pump with that pairing. Just 2 rounds of that total. And then from there, finish with some forearm work and some ab work. So again, for me, forearms and abs are not my favorite to train. So basically now, at least during prep, just keeping them programmed. And so we've at least been doing them very consistently. So doing weighted, ab mat crunches, again, probably in my opinion, the single best ab exercise, and just doing some wrist curls with a barbell there. And just 2 working sets each. Probably need a little bit more volume on those going forward. But I just want to be consistent with them for a little bit. Probably next week or the week after, we'll add a 3rd set on those. And then we have programs somewhere else, abs on another day, wrist extensions on another day. And again, just a little something to touch on forearms. Terrence is doing abs almost every day at some point in time anyway. I occasionally do a little bit extra with cardio as well. And he's posing, most importantly, for having your waist look good, you need to pose, especially if you're going to compete. So that is the pull day. So hopefully you have a little bit of an idea of what a pull day looks like. I skipped over at the end there real quick, the T-bar row. Your sub for that, if you don't have a T-bar row you can stick in a corner, would just be some sort of barbell row, bent over barbell row, or bent over dumbbell row. Again, if you don't have cables for a cable curl, you can obviously just do standing dumbbell curls, probably the next best sub. If you don't have a rear delt, you could do cable rear delts. If you don't have cables, you could do prone rear delt on a bench. And if you don't have a barbell for barbell curls, well, shit, you're out of luck. You're on the wrong channel. And then as far as the ab mat goes, I always say crunches are a good exercise. So if you don't have the ab mat to get that extra stretch position with your rectus abdominis, then just normal crunches are good. Leg raises are a good variation as well too. So hopefully that makes sense, gives you a little bit more insight and thought process into why we pick the exercises we pick. And again, where the volume is at right now, this is a nice baseline and slightly above our baseline, which I say as Terrence gets into the next couple weeks of prep, we push it up just the teeniest bit more, and then basically ride that till we got to start tapering it down as he gets closer to show day. So hopefully that's helpful, gives you guys a little bit of a thought process for your pull day, what makes kind of a complete one, some of the thought process for exercise selection, and hopefully helps you guys out the next time you're in the gym trying to get swole. And again, if you didn't do it in the first place, now push that thumbs up, subscribe, like, and share with a reasonable number of friends. The channel's growing. I appreciate all the support from everyone that's doing all those things. And until the next one, guys. Ooh.